Welcome back to the Metabolic Revolution podcast. I'm Dr. Steve Presciutti, and today we're tackling something that terrifies millions of people: hair loss. If you're finding more hair in your shower drain than on your head, if you're spending hundreds on supplements that don't work, or if you've been told it's just genetics and there's nothing you can do, this episode is going to change everything. Quick reminder, this podcast is educational content only, not medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making changes to your health regimen. Now, let's destroy some myths. This is episode 13, and we're building on everything we've covered. If you missed the episode from 2 weeks ago on the omega-3 deception, it was a doozy. You should check it out. Also, we've been getting great feedback about last week's episode 2 on how to make coffee work for your metabolism. But today, we're going after the hair loss industry. Because what they're selling you isn't just ineffective, it's often making things worse. The real cause of your hair loss likely has little to do with your genetics and everything to do with your cellular energy, and I'm going to prove it. Let me start with a story that might sound familiar. Michael, 32 years old, noticed his hairline receding. Panicked, he did what most men do: started finasteride, minoxidil, biotin supplements, special shampoos. Spent $300 a month on treatments. 6 months later, his hair was still falling out, but now he also had zero libido, brain fog, and depression. His doctor said it was genetic. His dermatologist blamed DHT. The internet told him to block his hormones. Everyone was wrong. When Michael came to me, I didn't even look at his scalp first. I took his temperature, 96.8 degrees Fahrenheit. I checked his diet, low carb, intermittent fasting, chronic calorie restriction. His cortisol was 3 times normal. His thyroid markers were in the basement. His hair wasn't falling out because of genetics. It was falling out because his follicles were literally too energy depleted to maintain hair growth. Here's what nobody tells you about hair follicles. They're among the most metabolically active tissues in your body. The hair growth cycle requires massive amounts of cellular energy. When your metabolism tanks, hair growth is one of the first things your body sacrifices. Think about it evolutionarily. When you're in survival mode, is growing hair essential? SERP number. Your body prioritizes vital functions and lets go of the luxuries. Hair growth is a luxury your body can't afford when it's metabolically stressed. Let's talk about DHT, dihydrotestosterone, the supposed villain of male pattern baldness. The conventional narrative says DHT miniaturizes follicles, so we need to block it with drugs like finasteride. But here's what they don't tell you. DHT is actually protective in many ways. It's more androgenic than testosterone, supports mood, libido, muscle mass, and cognitive function. The real question isn't, how do we block DHT? It's, why are some follicles becoming sensitive to normal hormones? The answer: metabolic dysfunction. When cells don't have enough energy, their response to various hormones becomes erratic. It's not that DHT is too high necessarily, it's that your follicles are too weak to handle normal hormonal signals. Fix the energy deficit, and often time the sensitivity resolves. Ray Peat explained this brilliantly. He noted that in hypothyroid states, certain tissues can become hypersensitive to normal levels of certain hormones. The problem isn't the hormone per se, it's the receptor's inability to properly respond due to energy deficit. Let me give you the real hair loss equation. Low thyroid function equals low cellular energy. Low cellular energy equals high stress hormones. High stress hormones equal vasoconstriction and reduced blood flow to the scalp. Reduced blood flow equals follicle starvation. Starved follicles equal hair loss. It's that simple. And that devastating. I had a female client, Jennifer, who illustrates this perfectly. Started losing hair after her second child. Tried everything. Iron supplements, biotin, expensive treatments. Nothing worked. Her dermatologist said it was female pattern baldness and offered her minoxidil. Her morning temperature? 96.4 degrees Fahrenheit. She was eating 1,200 calories a day trying to lose baby weight. Her TSH was 4.2. Normal, according to her doctor, but absolutely hypothyroid by functional standards. We did 3 things. First, increased her calories to 2,000 plus with emphasis on carbohydrates, fruits, juice, white rice. Second, supported her thyroid with selenium, vitamin A, and adequate protein. Third, managed her stress hormones with regular meals and bedtime snacks. 8 weeks later, baby hairs everywhere. 3 months later, visible regrowth. 6 months later, her hairdresser asked what she'd been doing differently. Her temperature? Steady 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit. She didn't need hair treatments. She needed metabolic support. Let's destroy another myth, the testosterone hair loss connection. People think high testosterone causes balding. Wrong. It's actually the opposite. Low thyroid leads to low testosterone and high cortisol. This hormonal disaster is what triggers hair loss. Men with truly healthy testosterone levels, supported by robust thyroid function, rarely experience premature balding. It's the metabolically broken men, the chronically stressed, the underfed and overexercised, who lose their hair young. The research backs this up. Studies show that balding men often have higher cortisol and lower thyroid hormone levels than non-balding men. They also tend to have markers of metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, inflammation, oxidative stress. Now let's talk about what finasteride actually does. It blocks 5-alpha reductase, the enzyme that converts testosterone to DHT. Sounds targeted, right? Wrong. This enzyme is active throughout your body and brain. When you block it, you're not just affecting your scalp, you're disrupting neurosteroid production. These are hormones made in your brain that regulate mood, cognition, and stress response. No wonder finasteride causes depression, anxiety, and brain fog in so many men. You're literally blocking your brain's ability to make its own antidepressants. And the sexual side effects? They can be permanent. Post-finasteride syndrome is real, devastating, and potentially irreversible. Imagine destroying your sexual function to maybe, possibly slow down hair loss. It's insane. The minoxidil story isn't much better. Originally a blood pressure medication, it can cause heart palpitations, chest pain, rapid weight gain, and ironically, initial increased hair loss. You're using a cardiovascular drug on your scalp and wondering why you feel terrible. Here's what actually works for hair regrowth. Raising your metabolic rate. When your cells have adequate energy, hair growth resumes naturally. No drugs needed. The protocol is surprisingly simple. First, eat enough calories. I see so many people with hair loss eating 1,500 calories a day. Your follicles are starving. You need at least 2,000 to 2,500 calories to support robust hair growth. Second, prioritize carbohydrates. Your thyroid needs glucose to produce T3, the active hormone. Low-carb diets are absolutely devastating for hair. I recommend 200 to 300 grams of carbs daily for optimal thyroid function. Third, manage stress hormones. Cortisol is absolutely toxic to hair follicles. Regular meals, adequate sleep, and avoiding excessive exercise all lower cortisol. That bedtime snack of milk and honey, it's hair growth fuel. Fourth, specific nutrients matter. Zinc, selenium, vitamin A, vitamin D, and B vitamins are all crucial for hair growth. But here's the key. They only work when your metabolism is functioning. Taking supplements with a broken metabolism is like pouring water into a bucket with holes. I want to talk about female hair loss specifically because women are often told even less truth than men. It's hormonal, they say. It's genetic. Try Rogaine. All wrong. Women are particularly susceptible to thyroid-related hair loss. The constant dieting, the cardio obsession, the stress of modern life, it all suppresses thyroid function. Add in birth control pills that further disrupt hormones, and you have a recipe for hair disaster. The solution for women is the same: support metabolism. But women often need even more carbohydrate support than men due to monthly hormonal fluctuations. During the luteal phase, carbohydrate needs can increase by 300 calories daily. One pattern I see constantly: women who've been on keto or low carb for years coming in with massive hair loss. They're eating perfectly by conventional standards, but their hair is falling out in clumps. The recovery is dramatic when they start eating adequately again. Within weeks, the excessive shedding stops. Within months, regrowth begins. It's not complicated, it's energy. Let's talk about the scalp environment. When metabolism is low, blood flow to extremities decreases, including your scalp. Your follicles are literally suffocating. This is why scalp massage can help. It temporarily increases blood flow, but it's a band-aid on a metabolic wound. Real improvement comes from raising core body temperature. When your metabolism is humming at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, blood flow is optimal everywhere, including your scalp. Your follicles get the oxygen and nutrients they need naturally. The inflammation factor is huge too. When cells don't have enough energy, they can't maintain their structure properly. They become inflamed, damaged, dysfunctional. This inflammatory environment is toxic to hair follicles. But here's the thing. Anti-inflammatory drugs aren't the answer. Supporting cellular energy production naturally reduces inflammation. When cells have adequate ATP, they maintain themselves properly. Inflammation resolves without suppression. I want to address transplants briefly. Yes, they can work cosmetically, but if you don't address the underlying metabolic dysfunction, you'll keep losing native hair. You're rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic instead of patching the hole. The supplement industry wants you to believe biotin is the answer, or saw palmetto, or whatever exotic extract they're pushing this month. But if your thyroid isn't working, if your cells can't produce energy, no supplement will save your hair. That said, certain nutrients become important once metabolism is supported. Gelatin or collagen provides glycine and proline, amino acids crucial for hair structure. Vitamin E protects against oxidative stress. Magnesium supports hundreds of enzymes involved in hair growth, but the foundation is always metabolic rate. Always energy production, always thyroid function. Let me tell you about Tom, because his story is incredible. 45 years old, bald spot growing for a decade. Had tried everything, medications, supplements, even considered a transplant. Came to me as a last resort. His temperature was 97.1 degrees Fahrenheit. He was intermittent fasting, doing keto, and was marathon training, all at the same time. His cortisol was through the roof. His free T3 was barely detectable. It was a picture of metabolic disaster. We completely restructured his life. Regular meals with adequate carbs, no more fasting. Reduced exercise to walking and light weights. We added thyroid-supporting nutrients, and we focused on sleep and stress management. 4 months later, his wife noticed fuzz on his bald spot. 6 months later, visible coverage. 1 year later, he had more hair than he'd had in his 30s. His temperature? Rock solid 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. He didn't regrow hair because of some miracle treatment. He regrew hair because we restored his cellular energy production. The research on thyroid and hair is extensive but ignored. Studies show that even subclinical hypothyroidism, the kind doctors call normal, is associated with hair loss. When thyroid function is optimized, hair growth improves dramatically. But the medical establishment would rather sell you drugs than tell you to eat breakfast and check your temperature. Here's something crucial. Crash dieting is one of the worst things you can do for your hair. When you severely restrict calories, your body goes into survival mode. Hair growth stops immediately. This is why so many people experience hair loss 2 to 3 months after starting a diet. The lag time confuses people. You start dieting in January, hair falls out in March, you don't connect the two. But your follicles know exactly when you started starving them. The exercise piece is equally misunderstood. Chronic cardio, excessive training, CrossFit addiction, all raise cortisol and suppress thyroid. I see so many fit people with hair loss. They look healthy but are metabolically broken. Gentle movement supports hair growth. Walking, yoga, light weights. But that hardcore training? It's literally making your hair fall out. Now I want to give you practical steps you can take today. First, take your morning temperature. If it's below 97.8 degrees Fahrenheit, your metabolism needs support before any hair treatment will work. Second, eat breakfast within 30 minutes of waking. Include protein, carbohydrates, and saturated fat. Eggs, fruit, and butter. Or Greek yogurt with honey. Your follicles need morning fuel. Third, eat every 3 to 4 hours. Stable blood sugar means stable hormones, means happy follicles. Don't let yourself get hungry. Fourth, add gelatin to your diet. Bone broth, collagen powder, or even Jell-O. The amino acids in gelatin specifically support hair growth. Fifth, manage your stress actively. This isn't woo-woo. Cortisol literally kills follicles. Whatever helps you relax, do more of it. The recovery timeline varies, but here's what to expect. First month, excessive shedding stops. Month 3 to 6, baby hairs appear. Month 6 to 12, visible regrowth. And beyond 1 year, some clients do see significant improvement, but of course individual responses do vary and depend on so much of your personal context and just how far down the line you've gotten yourself before we work together. That said, significant noticeable improvements are not only possible, but likely, particularly if you commit to our pro-metabolic health advice. But again, this only happens if you're consistent with metabolic support. You can't diet during the week and binge on weekends. You can't skip meals. You need steady, consistent energy availability. If you're ready to stop the hair loss insanity and address the real cause, we have resources to help you. Our Energy Essentials mini course covers the foundational principles of metabolic health that directly impact hair growth. You'll learn exactly how to support your thyroid, manage stress hormones, and create the internal environment for optimal hair growth. For those wanting comprehensive support, our Bioenergetic Reset program includes specific protocols for hair regrowth. We've helped hundreds of people restore not just their hair, but their entire metabolic health. The hair regrowth is just a visible sign of internal healing. And if you need personalized guidance, our one-on-one coaching addresses your unique situation. Sometimes hair loss is multifactorial, and individual attention makes all the difference. Remember, your genetics are not your destiny. That bald father or grandfather, they probably had the same metabolic stressors you do. Perhaps, yes, you're a little more susceptible to hair loss because of your genes, but genes are not your destiny. They can load the gun, but it's your environment and lifestyle that pull the trigger. Break the pattern by supporting your metabolism and watch your hair return. Before we wrap up, next week we're diving into something that stops thousands of people from healing. The initial weight gain when you start eating pro-metabolically. Why those first 5 to 10 pounds aren't fat, but your body desperately refilling its survival reserves. Why your bathroom scale becomes completely useless for the first 6 weeks of metabolic recovery. And why the people who push through this temporary gain are the ones who end up losing the most weight permanently. I'll show you exactly how to tell if you're gaining what I like to call healing weight, or if it's really problem weight. I'll also share stories of people who gained 15 pounds, then lost 50. Trust me, you're going to want to hear this one. For now, remember, your hair loss isn't inevitable. It's not genetic destiny. A susceptibility maybe, but not a destiny. It's also not a DHT problem. Rather, at its core, it is an energy problem. And the good news here, again, is that energy problems have energy solutions. I've seen time and time again. So stop blocking your hormones, stop poisoning your scalp with medications, and please stop accepting hair loss as normal. What do I want you to do instead? I want you to start supporting your metabolism and to watch your hair and your life transform. This is Dr. Steve Presciutti reminding you, you came to the right place. Our experienced clinical team has helped countless people restore their hair by restoring their metabolism, by choosing nourishment over restriction, by working with their biology, not against it. Okay, please remember, everything discussed today is educational information only, and I strongly encourage you to work with a healthcare provider who understands the metabolism-hair connection to create your individualized approach. Your hair is waiting to grow. Your follicles are waiting for energy. Your metabolism is waiting for support. Give it what it needs and watch the transformation begin. Let's talk.